pressure on hatcheries in the early game here.
As we can see, the players do not spawn close by air, so yeah, it's perhaps a little bit risky to go hatch first, since you won't know in time if your opponent's actually going for an early pool or not, unless you send out an early drone, and then you lose some mining time again.
Yeah, and it's just it's the big circle. And even if you go speedlings, though, it's tough to defend the ramp and the hatch. I feel like I say that all the time. Maybe I sound like a broken record here, but in ZVZ you have to be able to defend both your natural hatchery and your ramp. In return, basically defending your main base. You have to be able to defend both those places at the same time, and if you can't do that, you're just setting yourself up to take a lot of damage.
I think Dongraegu is going for a 9 pool over here. As we see, he has quite a bit of money stacked up. He has lava stacked up as well, so Dongraegu going for the 9 pool, and then it would be very, very unfortunate for killer if he would go hatch first, I assume.
Yeah, this is one of the risks that we take when we play against, when you play ZVZ. There is some coin flipping that takes place. That's true of any matchup in StarCraft 2, unfortunately, but it's also especially true in the mirrors. killer on 14 supply hasn't built that gas yet, so I don't know, man. Yeah, looks like he might be thinking hatch first.
Oh, I mean, he went hatch first on Metalopolis, but then, as you said, both players saw each other straight away because of the overlords, and he is indeed going hatch first, while Dongraegu actually went with the 9 pool, so he's going to have quite a few links out straight away. He's going to be very pleased with the way that this game is falling out, and obviously this is quite unfortunate for killer.
This is a best case scenario for Dongraegu, going 9 pool against hatch first. He's got the first link started already, still no spawning pool, even having been begun for Dignitas killer.
Not even that close. It's going to take a while. No. He's like 100 minerals right now, so it's at least going to take like 20 or like 10 to 15 seconds before he's actually going to be able to morph in that spawning pool.
This is going to be rough.
Well, 6 drones, or 6 Zerglings. Only the remaining 2 Zerglings are on his way there, so 8 Zerglings once again. Kind of like we saw him do against TT1 as well, and kind of how we saw Fruit Dealer do it against Gator, even though that was a little bit different. That was 6 pool, but still, same amount of links. 8 links is what it's going to be, and Killer's pool is just halfway done.
Yeah, halfway. Killer realizing now, because he sees the lings going underneath that overlord, cancels the hatchery immediately. He's going to try to defend in his main base. Now, drones are pretty good against Zerglings in the early phase of this game, so if he gets good engagements, it's possible. Like we said, Kev, early pool is supposed to beat hatch first, but you have to play everything perfectly.
But this is the problem. I don't think that that Dongraegu is really going to fight with his links. He's just going to dance around, make sure that all of these drones are not mining, and that obviously adds up a lot to the little bit of loss that he took. Now he's actually going to fight as well. He figures this is going to be a good fight.
Really nice control here by Killer. He's defending this about as well as you possibly could hope for, losing only 2 drones there. And he is getting his first lings out. His first queen is on the way.
It's not over yet, though. And there are a couple of drones really low on HP. The Zergling's going for it once again. This time, Dongraegu managed to kill at least several drones.
7 drones down in total. So DRG got to come out of this a little bit ahead. 10 drones now to 14. So that is advantage Dongraegu. But now Killer's in a position where he can apply some pressure and force some more lings. So at the end of the day, this is going to be a pretty even game.
I'd still say it's pretty good for Dongraegu, no? I think it's like 1 or 2 drones too many that he lost. He is indeed going to have quite a few links, but Dongraegu is going to have speed before Killer, actually way before Killer is going to have speed. As we can see, he can't really afford it to put 3 drones on the extractor right now because he has so few drones on his mineral patch. Oh, he's actually going for a roach mine straight away, so he doesn't want to go speed.
That's an interesting choice. I think Killer's making a mistake by not pushing across the map with his lings, but here we see Dongraegu is going to go ahead and make 10 lings, so maybe I'm in the wrong in saying so. Baneling Nest goes down for Dongraegu, so this is going to play into Killer's hand a little bit. If he's got 3 or 4 roaches out on that ramp, it's going to be very difficult for Banelings to be relevant at all.
Yes, indeed. It's all going to come on to the roaches, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get them in time. Though, like, speed is more than halfway done. He might get a few, but even then, like, if you send in the banelings first, they do some damage. The Zerglings might be able to take out the roaches, even though it's going to be hard if the roaches are really well positioned. I don't know, it's close, but I do feel that Killer took a little bit too much damage early on.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. 17 drones to 18 drones, and there are a few roaches out. Yeah. If the roaches can block the ramp, Killer's going to be in an okay spot, man.
And it's always nice to have roaches over banelings in general. Like, if you can skip the baneling phase, then you want to, but it's always a little bit risky.
Lings are crossing the map right now. It's basically a race to the ramp of Killer. He's got 2 roaches out. That's not enough to block. 3rd roach just now spawning. Here we go. The Lings from Dongraegu are going to get here. This is so close. Will he be able to block? The Lings are going to come forward. It's really not a good block. That roach needs to move forward and hit hold position. This is so close right now. Roach is taking a lot of damage. Killer is defending really well, though, and he does actually hold.
Yeah, really. Man, Killer just keeps impressing me with his defenses. That's really, really insane. Both players right now at 17 drones though, so it's not like killer is miles ahead. Now we see Dongraegu straight away taking that hatchery. He might actually try it all over again, even though he has that baning nest. He didn't really use it yet for a single baning.
No, he's not going to use it for now, but this is what gets really sketchy. There's so many lings out, and you can see how far the ramp is from the hatchery.
This is going to be tough though for killer. It's not going to be that easy to keep that hatchery alive, and obviously you don't want to get surrounded.
No, the roach is not quite able to get up that ramp, and they are more or less completely surrounded. That's going to be curtains for killer. Lings get a full surround there. Dongraegu going to clean up every single roach, and killer right now, Kev, in a lot of trouble.
He's producing 3 more additional roaches though. I'm not sure if it's going to be in time, but he's probably going to be forced to cancel the hatch once again. Dongraegu actually running to the maintenance straight away. I'm surprised that he doesn't try to cancel the hatch.
He's going to be able to. He's making more ling. Was he making more ling? Yeah, he's got a lot of lings out. That's going to be enough to force a cancel on that hatch. That's 10 lings. Well, actually, it's going to be close. There's lings and roaches out for killer. Dongraegu trying to dance around.
Beautiful micro right there by Dongraegu, moving those lings so quick.
And it does actually get canceled, so not a complete loss. Killer will be able to rebuild that hatchery, but Dongraegu will come out of this a little bit ahead. 23 drones to, wow, way ahead. 23 drones to 16 drones. DRG, man, he's very clearly showing us that he is a top-level Korean Zerg player.
Yeah, Dongraegu is playing really, really good. All these minor things, controlling his units so well, always seeing in the window of opportunity where he's able to do something a little bit more than you would expect him to do. And Killer is actually playing a really good series as well, but it seems like Dongraegu is just a little bit too much to handle right now.
I'm so impressed with the fact that Killer plays at this level. He told me that he's only able to practice like 2 or 3 hours a day. And for him to be coming in here and hanging with Dongraegu, that blows me away, man.
It is. At the end of the day, he's still losing 3-0 though, and that's really rough, because as you said, it's not a fair resemblance at all of how the games go, because they're actually really close, and it's not like Dongraegu is steamrolling all over Killer, but on the other end, he's not losing any games either.
Yeah, a lot of roaches out already for Dongraegu. He's on the production tab. We see that he's actually, what is he going to do? He saved up quite a bit of money. Oh yeah, a lot of lings on the way, so we will see a roach speedling follow-up to this, and that's going to be pretty impossible for Killer to hold, I think. He's down 10 supply. The roach count pretty heavily in favor of Dongraegu. So this is a scary moment, Kev.
Yeah, a lot of roaches for Dongraegu, and he's making quite a few links as well. Killer does have 24 links himself, but obviously Dongraegu still has that baning nest, so in potential, or in theory, you could actually make 1 or 2 banings, and that would help out a lot against the Zerglings that Killer has.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Here come the roaches, Kev. Lings streaming across the map to reinforce as well. Killer has got a lot of Zerglings, 32 lings. That could be enough to turn the tide in this fight, man.
You got really, really a lot, and there's not a single baning over here for MPP, so we're gonna for Dongraegu, so we'll see.
Here we go, slow lings and roaches against speedlings and roaches, but the numbers are actually heavily favoring Killer right now. And oh my God, I think he might actually hold here, Kev.
Once again, Killer holds, and he will perhaps be able to kill these remaining drones as well. Really, really impressive, but still the drone count is definitely a big, big problem. It's only 16 drones for Killer, and it's 29 drones for Dongraegu.
One thing that's so smart about the way that Dongraegu is playing is that he's forcing Killer to make units constantly. Every time that Killer gets a minute to drone up, Dongraegu's like, no, I'm just going to attack you now.
I like this as well. Dongraegu was a little bit worried that he might actually get counterattacked straight away, and he would lose a lot of drones, and that his units would pop out one by one, and that Killer would be able to kill them all the time. So he sends his this road as far south as possible, stalling as much time as possible, and by the time Killer arrives now, Dongraegu should have enough roaches again. Like all these minor things makes Dongraegu such an amazing
Killer is going to come with a big counter. It's 10 roaches and 30 lings against only 10 roaches. Kevin, this is actually a really scary moment right now for Dongraegu, who may be possibly over-droned a little bit.
He's making 28. It's going to be really close.
A lot of lings and roaches coming out here for Killer. More units streaming across the center of the map. Drones are going to be pulled out. The drones, I think, are going to be the ones that make the difference in this fight.
I think Killer lost a lot of potential DPS there as well with his roaches. Beautiful defense now by Dongraegu, pulling everything that he has, and he will be able to hold.
Doing such a nice job sending those drones back. Didn't actually lose a single drone in that. No, lost 1 drone in that fight. 17 drones to 28 right now. Economically, DRG way ahead. Killer trying to pour on the pressure, but he just doesn't have enough, Kev.
No, it's always just not enough when you play against Dongraegu, as it seems. Killer calls GG, and Dongraegu takes the series 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0 Dongraegu over Killer, 3-0 Fruit Dealer over Gators.